Since men don't approach women anymore, I guess I should start going up to men. I live in a city, and literally anytime I'm walking anywhere, anytime I see a cute guy, it's always heads down, headphones in, he won't look at anyone. Literally no one is approachable anymore, no one looks at each other, everyone's heads down, and no one's smiling or just seems happy. Literally no one's socializing. What am I supposed to do? Chase a guy down the street that does not want to be bothered and ask him if he is single? I feel like I give off the most approachable vibes. I'm always smiling, looking pleasant, not looking at my phone, I don't wear my headphones. Literally never once. I've never been approached. Get this, I was talking to a guy I matched with on Cuffed. We were talking on the phone, had the best conversation ever. Ghost me. He literally ghosts me. Just now, if you have like a really good phone call with a guy you matched with on a dating app like Raya, Cuffed, Tinder, or whatever, I guess you just ghost them immediately. It's funny though, like on the phone when we were talking, I asked him if he like ever approaches a girl at a bar or in the street, and he was like, no, God, no. So I guess maybe that was just a red flag. That men forget that they literally have the power in the situation, so that's why everyone's single.
Single men without children don't need to be dating women who have children by other men. If you're a single man, if you're a single dude, bro, take it from me. If you're single and you don't have children, there is no reason why you need to be involving yourself with a woman who already has other children that are not yours. You don't need to be a father or a father figure to children that are not your children. Do not get trapped into the belief that the only option you have is to be the baddie with somebody else's kids. No, you don't. You deserve better than that. If you're a single man with no children, you need to stay in your lane. You need to invest in yourself. You need to build yourself up physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, so that you can attract the woman that is going to be by your side, supporting your vision, your mission, and doesn't have kids from some other dude. Do not be that guy who falls for a woman with somebody else's children. Don't do that.
Genuine question for the men. What demons are you guys always talking about fighting?
I would find it very hard to believe that someone would actually be interested in the genuine answers to that question.
Is it accountability? Because what the are you guys talking about?
Well, maybe, just maybe, if some women would actually listen to what men are saying instead of just waiting for their turn to speak, they would actually get a clue about that.
I guarantee you that like the worst demons that you're claiming to be fighting is just like the average thing that women have to go through mentally.
And that statement is one of the reasons why most men will never open up to a woman.
Maybe if you guys hadn't deemed being emotional as being gay, then you wouldn't have an issue right now. Maybe you guys could try trading out your stoicism for, I don't know, emotional intelligence. Maybe try trading out the gym for a therapist. But I don't believe you whenever you act as if you're fighting demons that like women don't understand.
A lot of women wouldn't understand. That's the part that someone really isn't getting. And then there's the unfortunate part that there's also a lot of women out there that will use whatever those guys say in their moment of weakness against them in the future.
Your mental health being bad is nothing but the result of patriarchy and you deciding to hold up gender roles.
In case you didn't notice, gentlemen, someone is essentially saying that if you have a mental health problem, it is essentially your fault.
Take some accountability and responsibility for your own mental health and the management of that.
And what man wouldn't want to open up to someone with such opinions?
Women were not the ones who created the patriarchy or these gender roles that tell you that you have to be silent about your mental health or that you can't open up or that it's like to be emotional. Men created all of that. So either you guys dig yourself out of that hole or you can continue to stay in it. Either way, like it's not women's issue to fix that for you.
Indeed. However, I'm sure the lack of support from a lot of women out there certainly doesn't help.
You could be getting dramatically better results with women right now with your same face, same bank account, same car, same job without changing a single external thing about yourself. And I need you to hear that right now because the problem is not who you are. It's what you're doing. There are specific behaviors that are a complete turnoff for us women. So completely and instantly attractive that no physique, no money, no status can survive them. And the worst part is most of you men are doing them and you have absolutely no idea. They message me and say things like this: Lauren, this woman will not respond to me. What do I do? So I look at the conversation and I think any woman on this planet would have blocked you. Because here's what I see. Constant messages with zero response, paragraphs of emotional desperation, heart emojis, smile emojis, good morning, beautiful every single day, trying to impress her in every single sentence that you say to her, seeking her validation with every single word, and not realizing for 1 second that every message is making it worse. Here's what that behavior is communicating to her. Not love, not affection. Desperation. And desperation is the single most repulsive thing a woman can encounter in a man. You're not pursuing her. You are invading her space. And she feels that immediately. Stop selling yourself. Stop chasing validation. Stop being so available. Let her qualify for you, not the other way around.
What happened, ladies? So sad. Hard days work and men have no one to cook for them. Let's look at the comments. Anyways, I recently became a doctor as a single mother and a grandmother, and my parents were there with me. Anywho, I closed on my first house at 26 years old. I'm launching my business at 52. I just finished RN school at 57. Just opened up my new law firm. Anywho, I went from Yale hospital janitor to doctor, just matched at Yale anesthesiology program. Hey y'all, it's my birthday at 42. Anyway, here's me visiting my 26th country at 24. Anyway, my divorce just got finalized at 23. Anywho, I will be 6 months post kidney transplant on the 22nd. Sorry, I was busy giving the commencement speech at graduation. And then somebody posted that and the creator was like, wow. There's a male loneliness epidemic for a reason. Women don't give a shit. If you're lonely, even if you're married, and a woman is doing all of these feats, did you see those comments? They're busy. They're busy doing for themselves. You can make your own food at home too. Fuck.
Basically, all I've learned from this entire experience is that casual is not for me. I just got done seeing my man, who's not my man, but like he's literally not my man. And I basically told him that like I don't want to be in contact anymore. And yeah, like I mean I told him that like I wanted to be with him, that I wanted more for the two of us, and he told me that he's already told me that we don't align on wanting to have kids.
I really, really, really appreciate this woman's honesty and her bravery in sharing her story. If you guys haven't seen the recent Call Me Daddy podcast controversy, basically people are taking clips of this podcast and really showing how toxic the podcast host's advice is. A recent one was her admitting that she keeps a list of all the men that she has been with, and this woman is married right now. The way that she phrases it is just vulgar. She talks about she remembers each one that has been, I can't even say it. And then she basically is saying, and look at me, I'm still able to be married. I think that's her way of coping. And it is a terrible message, especially to young women. This is like the #1 podcast that's listened to by women, which is honestly scary. More and more women, unfortunately, they're going to be learning the hard way. And in the end all, as it already is, it's going to make relationships in today's day and age more and more difficult.
Being single as a man and only having to worry about yourself is very peaceful. Women are an expense. You have to provide for them and you have to take care of them. And in return, they don't do what they're supposed to do. They want to take, but they don't want to give. So it's better to stay single. And if you have one of those women who actually contributes to the relationship and you're happy with it, just make sure she doesn't make more money than you, because then she's going to resent you and leave your ass anyways. So you just can't win if you're in a relationship. The only way to win and be at peace and enjoy life is to be single as a man.
And I really do appreciate Dr. Jess bringing this to light. She was talking about essentially about 91% of men that are on dating apps, they are open to commitment, right? They're open to something that's a little bit more long term. Modern women would have you believing that no men out here want to commit. No, men don't want to simp anymore. That's it. Y'all want men to simp. Oh, there ain't no men looking for commitment. No, there's no men looking for servitude. They don't want to sit up here and be your servant all day and get nothing in return. Y'all don't want to be equal. Y'all want a man to do what you want him to do when you want him to do it. How you want him to do it. And that's not realistic, and that's also not fair. He does everything that you want him to do, but you don't do anything that he wants you to do. You want everything that you want to do, mandatory. Everything that he wants to do, optional. Y'all gotta start, and that's what I'm saying. Oh, you know, a lot of women be talking, oh, we got standards now. We need to start defining what those standards are, because you can have a standard, but if the standard is bullcrap, what does it matter?
Sorry, but I do think that dumping your single friends just because you got into a relationship makes you a terrible person. I posted about how annoying it is when people who are in a relationship constantly bring their partner when their partner wasn't invited. Like, your friend, in fact, does want to see you alone from time to time. And I got comments like, an invite for me is an invite for we. And those same people were like, yeah, I stopped being friends with my single friends when I got into a relationship because, like, I can't relate to them anymore. You can't relate to someone just because they're not partnered, as if you were never single before. These are the same people that when that relationship eventually ends, which it normally does, by the way, they're like, what happened to all my friends? I don't have any more friends. I have no community. Where'd they go? You isolated yourself on purpose. This is actually your fault. Another common comment I'll get on those videos is, single women just want to keep people single because they're bitter. I was in a 12-year-long relationship where I managed to keep individual friendships outside of my relationship. Now, there were plenty of times that I would have an event or a party or something and everyone's invited, but there were other times where I just want to see my friend one-on-one, because the dynamic one-on-one is completely different from me with my partner. And as much as my friends might like my partner, they are not as close with them as I am. Some of your codependent asses just completely lack the ability to read a room, to be able to use your discernment of when your partner should come and when they shouldn't. And if you persist with bringing your partner where they are not welcome, you are going to lose all your friends. And straight up, if this is your attitude, you deserve to lose all your friends.
The main reason that I don't care about the male-only epidemic, besides the fact that I made a video saying that's not even a real thing, but let's just, for the sake of bringing it up, use that language, is because if it was an actual serious issue, men would actually try to address it a little bit more seriously. Like, we have to hear about it all the time, yet you never see any of them actually doing anything to address it as an issue that needs to be fixed. I mean, using the language epidemic, let's go to pandemic, for example. You can't just use the word pandemic and then see nothing happening at all and see nobody trying to do anything about it, because nobody's then going to take it seriously. And the thing is that regardless of who you blame, whether it's the women being all a bunch of bitches or men being asocial or everyone just being on their phones too much or whatever you want to say it is, if nobody is trying to actually address an issue and they're just going to sit there complaining, why the should I care about it? Or anyone else for that matter? Like, you can't make me worried that this is a big issue if you won't even treat it like a big issue yourself. Like, I've gotten a lot of DMs, especially in, like, from the last couple of videos, basically calling me callous and horrible and mean. But the thing is that where is your activism? You know, like, where is the urgency to make me care? Huh? Like, if you can present to me evidence that the vast majority of men are genuinely acting as if this is an urgent issue that must be changed and we must rally, okay, maybe I'll start taking it a little bit seriously, because then I'll see that you guys really need that help that you claim to desperately need. But none of you have done that, and thus I'm going to sit here and just ignore it, as I always have and probably always will. That doesn't make me horrible. That's just me reading the room.
I've had a really emotionally draining week, and I come home to my quiet and peaceful house, and all I want to do is just cry and be held. And that's the part about being single that I think no one really shares and talks about, how hard it is to not have emotional support when you are the emotional support. And I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change showing up for my friends in a deep, meaningful, profound way. I wouldn't change, having the situations that I go through. I wouldn't change the work that I do that is also emotionally draining. And I also wouldn't change being single. But it is hard. And it requires a specific level of introspection, and you have to have self-care for yourself in a very, very different way than you would if you had a partner. And for those of you who are single, who are showing up emotionally and who come home and just physically have nothing left and you're just moved to tears, I see you. and you're doing great, and I hope that you find space in your day today or in your weekend to take care of yourself, because you have to fill up your own cup too, and it's just gonna look a little bit differently because you don't come home and get a hug from anyone. So drop it in the comments. What do you do to take care of yourself emotionally? How do you decompress? How do you unwind? And how do you fill up your own cup in the absence of a partner and in absence of that like just physical exhale, you know? And thanks for sharing, because maybe it'll serve as a resource for someone who is single and feels a little bit emotionally exhausted and drained and doesn't know what to do. So drop it in the comments. I appreciate y'all. We got this.
Has a man ever told you that 80% of women are going after the top 20% of men? And that's why there's this epidemic of men that can't find partners.
Anyway, they set the stat that was like 20% of people joining dating sites at that time were already married. And I was like, that's crazy. So then I just looked up, did my own little research. You want to know how many people now joining dating apps are already in a relationship or married? 65%. 65%. They did a study last year, and over 2/3 of people joining Tinder were already in a relationship or married. That's insane. And people wonder why it is so hard for this.
I can't switch the fact that we're only attracted to 20% of men. Okay, I can't change that. I can't change the fact that half of women by 2030, this is 6 years away, half of women are going to be single and childless. This was a study done by bankers, not people that have a political agenda. So if you're married to be, I always say that if we banned side chicks, if we made it illegal or something, the first people that would complain are women. There are women that go to NBA games trying to get men to cheat on their wives.
Victims of the male loneliness epidemic deserve exactly zero empathy from women.
And why would that be?
Because hating women is exactly how they got into this mess. And the only thing that's going to get them out of it is being less misogynistic and to stop placing the burden of their problems and the solutions to those problems on women.
I feel at this point I should actually state the obvious, because at least as far as I have seen, for the most part, those speaking about the supposed male loneliness epidemic have mostly been women. And a person has to wonder why that is. Not only that, but those particular women who choose to talk about how lonely and misogynistic most men supposedly are really seem to have never actually had a conversation with any of these single men. Because no, most men are not misogynistic. And those that are single are actually, for the most part, rather happy being single in their drama-free existence where they can actually just enjoy their peace. It's almost like some of these women need to believe that men are lonely so that they can justify some of the statements that they are making.
Is this you with our son?
Yes, I'm not going to neglect a kid, a good father, just because his father wouldn't step up to the plate, correct?
So you did raise him since he was a baby, correct?
Correct, but he's not my biological son, and you know this.
Do you believe that it's appropriate for you to be ordered to pay child support for this child?
No, I'm not the biological father, no.
The husband's name is Francisco, and the wife's name is Norma. Norma is suing Francisco for child support for a child that is not biologically his. Francisco has come prepared with a lawyer, and there she goes right down here, by the name of Lanice. I always implore my young G's to invest into a lawyer, but I can understand that they are expensive. Nevertheless, in most cases, it's a worthy investment, especially when the topic is child support.
What would you request the court to do regarding this child if this judgment is set aside?
I just get removed from the child support. We would want to file for divorce and do everything the correct way and get what's needed for the children done and do whatever we need to do to make everything right and get the proper documentation and everything done.
And did you or did you not tell me that it was going to be your way, that he had no dad, you were the dad, we were married, and this was your
Objection as to relevant. Oh, sorry, relevance.
The fact that this is even a debate, a dispute, the fact that she can bring this in front of a judge, the fact that they're even having a conversation about this being thrown out demonstrates yet another reason, another example of why the family court systems are against men. This man, for some reason, thought it was a good idea to take responsibility for a child that was not biologically his in a marriage that you had with him And instead of respecting that time period because you're about to go through a divorce, you try to weaponize the simp against him. Once the relationship ends, the responsibility should not be dragged forward for the next 18 years of this man's life. It is ridiculous to think that her is even being entertained and demonstrates just how broken this system is.
And, you know, I think a woman was talking about, oh, you know, these white men got to get in an AI avatar to say this, and this, you know, and that's how desperate they are. No, I actually think that, you know, there are some women out here that are saying that type of stuff. I know you probably don't believe it, but there are women out here that actually advocate for men. There are women out here that actually understand that men are people as well. Modern women like to say this type of stupid stuff. Oh man, nobody believes what men are talking about. Men are just making it up because they're trying to win women over to their cause. No, at some point in time, I want there to be a consistency. There's never really with modern women any consistency. Modern women are so scatterbrained and short-sighted that it's up and down. You're with a modern woman, it's going to be a roller coaster ride that you should have never got on. And you'll be begging, I will pay you to get off this ride.
This is going to get me in trouble, but nobody wants to talk about the female loneliness epidemic. They only want to talk about the male loneliness epidemic. If we were to actually unpack female loneliness, we would have to also look at the behaviors that contribute to it. It only takes one excruciating friendship or friend group experience for a woman to kind of want to wall herself off from friendship with other women. Women are often socialized and taught that relational harmony is a primary goal. So when there's any disagreement, it tends not to happen through direct conflict. It's more of like subtle shifting social dynamics. And yeah, sometimes the conflict is an inherent jealousy. Sometimes the conflict is a growing apart or a changing of opinions or beliefs. And even if it isn't intended to be malicious, the indirect nature of it can cause a lot of women to act like some shady. And all it takes is one bad experience with somebody acting like a shady for you to think isolation is better. And again, because this is all indirect, a lot of women are lonely inside their existing friendships, precisely because they have a lot of friendships that don't feel emotionally safe.
There's going to be nothing like the female loneliness epidemic that you're going to see with this generation of women when they hit the 40s. It's going to be out of control. Many years from now, there is going to be a quiet crisis, loneliness in women especially. Not because women failed, not because they weren't capable or intelligent, but because they were handed a script or a blueprint that left out the consequences. Be self-sufficient, put your career first, you don't need a man. So they followed it. They pushed love down the line. They delayed the family. They treated commitment like something that could always wait until it didn't. Fast forward a few years later. You're older, no partner, no children, no legacy, just some noise to fill that silence. There's going to be nothing like the female loneliness epidemic that you're going to see with this generation of women when they hit the 40s. It's going to be out of control. When these 20-somethings hit 40-something, there's going to be massive devastation. There's going to be, the pharmaceutical companies are going to be like, yeah, cashing in on the antidepressants and all of that if they go that route.
Are you single?
What?
Are you single?
I'm single.
I want to help you find a very cool girlfriend.
Okay.
Why are you single?
I prefer to be single. I don't really want a girlfriend.
I want to change that. What's your type?
I like a type that's like not annoying at all and kind of lets me do whatever I want and I let her do whatever she wants. Very low maintenance. That's the most attractive thing to me.
Oh boy. Where would you take her for the first date?
Finelli's.
What are you guys gonna grab?
Guinnesses.
That's gonna set the tone for a nice night.
Yeah, definitely, man.
What do you bring into a relationship?
Almost nothing. I just I think a healthy relationship is one where you can coexist.
Okay.
And you don't have to offer and exchange things. And if someone is traveling in the same parallel path as you are, then it makes it natural and organic, kind of just like this.
Does she need to be in New York City?
I mean, that definitely helped. But sometimes I've had long distance relationships before, and sometimes good fences make good neighbors. So you never know.
Well, if you are a cool girl who likes to date this very handsome man, you should definitely slide in his DMs.
Yeah, definitely.
Trauma hurts women.
trauma builds men. Trauma makes women more masculine. Trauma makes men, if he overcomes that trauma, think about it. If any of you ladies,
toxic.
no, listen. If any of you ladies go through trauma,
be real.
listen. Speak this facts right here. No fugazi. If any of you ladies go through trauma, in order for you to overcome it, it's gonna make you a little bit more masculine. It's there. You have to be a little bit more worrisome to figure this out, more direct now, a bit more assertive, maybe a little bit more dominant, so you don't go through those traumas that you went through before, which is innately making you more masculine. Get what I'm saying? So men, when we go through stuff, the masculinity, it suits us nice. So when we overcome traumas, it builds that man, it builds the character. The more things that a man experienced and he overcame, the more sexier and more attractive he is. It's facts.
Yeah. I think I see where you're going, because I do believe that that is my problem in relationships. I honestly believe that I've been through so much. I believe that I'm more masculine.
Women are always told to choose better men, like it's their problem, the men are bad.
How about taking that dreaded first step towards some personal accountability and realize that a lot of women, in fact, do need to choose better? Because a lot of times, some women tend to choose the same types of men that have the same bad characteristics over and over again and decide that it's all men that share those characteristics.
But the men are never told to be better men.
Has someone not been paying attention? Because there are multitudes of individuals out there telling men every single day that they need to be better. But I guess someone must have missed that.
It's much easier for a man to choose to be better than a woman to choose better, because a lot of these men are wolves in sheep's clothing.
Really? Exactly how difficult is it for some women out there to actually understand the characteristics that make a good man as opposed to just an attractive man? Because a lot of women will simply date on what they find attractive versus what should be considered for a relationship. And that's the main problem there.
I'm almost 40 and I'm single. And sometimes it sucks because I thought I would have been married by now. I'm a single mother and I desire partnership. However, I'm not subscribing to perfection. Single ladies, you don't need to be perfect to receive love. Don't you understand? We create the market that single men shop in. So why are we creating this false illusion of perfection? Creating a false standard of perfection is requiring us to live up to that. Aren't you already tired? Girl, love yourself for where you are, your past, and where you're going. Stay true to you and leave room for growth and flaws. There's beauty in imperfections. Someone is going to love you for all of you, but you gotta love you first. With love, Coach Cakes. Follow me for more.
Men are only as faithful as their past partners, and men are as only as faithful as their options. So men and women play the game on two different ends, meaning that the more bodies you rack up, the harder it is for you to find genuine love and actually give that man genuine love, because you already had past. You'll be comparing and contrasting with multiple other individuals based off sizes, income, height, charismaticness, and everything else. But the girl that doesn't have a whole lot past partners, it's easier for her to be faithful. Girls like to be wowed and men like to be the person to wow the girl. So think about it. A woman with a lot of past partners, it's harder for her to be wowed, and it's harder for the man to wow her. So then you really got to get a man that's superior to the past partners. So this is why I'm saying that a woman is only as faithful as her past partners, because the more partners she acquires, the higher the likelihood she'll disqualify more men.
Can someone show me a man on TikTok complaining about the male loneliness epidemic? Just show me one, because I am yet to see it.
That's because there isn't one. These women are going through a female loneliness epidemic, and since they're lonely, they're projecting onto the men who have checked out of the dating market. If you don't know me, I'm the Now You a Single Mom guy. I got a Chris whistle and a nice evil ad that y'all love, but the reality of the situation is I break up with women all the time. You know how many men say these days, dog, the juice ain't worth the squeeze? I've said that to a couple of women after I've gotten to know them, and I don't want to date them anymore. They be like, wow, you never liked me. I'd be like, no, I did at first. I've gotten to know you. And they always act like I never liked them and I was just wasting their time. No, sweetheart, I got to know you and you're terrible. And I be chilling. So I completely understand why so many men have decided I don't want to get to know any more of these raggedy ass broads, because y'all raggedy.
We are now in the female loneliness epidemic age. A lot of women live boring lives and are more lonely than you think.
Weary, tell me will you hold me?
Why are so many men refusing to get married? This is an interesting question, and I don't know if men actually are refusing to get married or not, but it could be a few things. It could be that there's misconceptions about what marriage is. We hear a lot about who benefits from marriage. Is there a benefit to marriage? We hear a lot about men who are taken advantage of in the divorce process or feel like they lost something. I also think there's this mindset where you're with someone, but you're wondering if something better is out there. So why would you commit to marriage if you're worried you're gonna miss out on something better? What I would say to women in that situation is if your partner doesn't want to marry you and you want to get married, leave, break up. That's gonna end with you guys breaking up anyway. And if you're a single man who never wants to get married, let us know why. We're really curious.
You know, really honestly and truly, modern women don't really understand. I don't think they even care. Because men keep on telling them, I can see the videos that I can see them. This is crazy. This is ludicrous that they sitting up and thinking, I can't see the videos. Men are watching the same videos that you're watching. Y'all are I mean, you have to understand, you know, some of your stuff is going to show up. You know, you're going to be commenting on something, you're going to like something, and somebody's going to see that you liked it or you commented on it. And they can go to your comment and read your comment. God forbid, your man is scrolling TikTok or Instagram and, you know, they see what you've been liking and they see what you've been commenting. God forbid. Because then you're going to have some explaining to do. You're going to, well, why was you creeping on me? I wasn't. It was out there. It's public information. It's public data. You're out here acting like men don't understand, men don't see. But when I'm telling you, man, modern women, like she said, they think they're slick and they think they're hiding stuff. When a man locks in, then it's all over.
Many years from now, there is going to be a quiet crisis, loneliness in women especially. Not because women failed, not because they weren't capable or intelligent, but because they were handed a script or a blueprint that left out the consequences. Be self-sufficient, put your career first, you don't need a man. So they followed it. They pushed love down the line. They delayed the family. They treated commitment like something that could always wait until it didn't. Fast forward a few years later. You're older, no partner, no children, no legacy, just some noise to fill that silence. Meanwhile, your grandmothers had way fewer choices, but way stronger direction. They built families, they built the roots, they built something bigger than themselves. And this generation swapped it all for convenience. Legacy for pleasure, meaning for freedom without structure. And here's the part that nobody likes to talk about. The men that they overlooked in their 20s, they didn't just vanish. They were building, failing, learning, becoming disciplined, and becoming men. Men don't peak early. They compound with time. Value grows with time and skill and responsibility. Women don't gain leverage by delaying everything. That is not cruelty. That is reality. Every decision comes with a cost. Modern narratives today did not remove the bill, they just postponed it, and the outcome is usually the same. Distractions instead of connection. Comfort instead of intimacy, and independence without fulfillment. This is not about going backward. It's about correcting the course. We don't need less ambition. We need stronger values, commitment, family, masculine leadership, feminine devotion, and a shared purpose, because freedom without foundation doesn't liberate, it isolates you completely. And tradition wasn't the problem. Abandoning it was.
I feel like I'm sharing the secrets of women that women don't want to tell, but I'm going to share it. Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. I think something that women would never want a man to know is truly how much she desires boundaries. She wants to hear no. She wants to see a man who has so much self-control. A man who has self-control and discipline over his flesh is so attractive. And a man who's like, baby, I love you, We're not doing that today, okay? I love you. If he's doing it from the heart posture and reverence of not controlling his woman, that's the difference. A woman can sense heart posture a mile away, and so can men. Men can sense when a woman is being controlling versus nurturing.
Women, when they fight with men, their goal is to get men frazzled, right? Crazed. And what is the most annoying thing that happens in a fight when it comes to male-female dynamics? The most annoying thing to women is when guys don't get frazzled, when they're just like, sure, honey, whatever, you know what? You want to scream, yell, I got stuff to do, and then they will get bigger and crazier, and the crazy eyes will come out because they have to know, they have to try to rattle you, right? And some guys will not allow themselves to be rattled. And those are obviously the best, most stable, most sane guys, right? But it's also the guys and those are the guys that also maintain authority in their house and whatnot, because they're letting you know, honey, you get to act like a crazy person. I'm not going to be, no, it's not going to work on me.
So this black woman messaged me and she was like, I feel as though you empathize with black men, but you don't empathize with black women. Well, the reason why I empathize with black men is because black men are the most disrespected out of all the races in the world, right? Black men are the most disrespected by their woman, meaning the black woman, right? There is no other race in the world where women think that it's okay to disrespect their man the way that black women disrespect black men. And here's the crazy part about it. Let's go to the statistics. Let's go to the facts. Black women are the least likely to get married. Black men are getting married at higher rates than black women. Black men are commodities. If you go to any place around the world, most women want black men. Black men are commodities. But for whatever reason, black women don't see that. And then they are entitled and think that they're supposed to come with all this baggage, be out of shape, have all these kids, out of marriage, and just be really a hot mess. And then a black man is just supposed to be like, well, I should just settle for this. The black woman really thinks that the black man should be happy with settling with their nonsense and foolishness on top of being combative and disrespectful. Why would a black man deal with that when he can go get a woman from another race that is going to not have kids, the whole nine, and want to actually get on his program? I'm going to need black women to wake up.
You know, sometimes I'll make a video talking about my problems I'm having with a woman or problems I've had with a woman. Inevitably, there'll be a man in my comment saying, don't focus on women, focus on yourself, don't date, just focus, things like that, like don't date, whatever. Unfortunately for you, my guy, I do want a family, and I want a family not when I'm older. Like, I don't want to be an old dad. Like, I don't want to have kids when I'm 40 or in my late 30s, preferably in between now and the age of 30. Like, preferably I start having kids there, and I'm married first, of course, but I want a wife. I want kids. Like, I want that for myself. I know there's a lot of men out there that don't care about wanting a family and all that stuff, and they're fine with just sleeping with women and having their fun. I don't want that. I want to be married. I want to be a husband. I want a wife. I want children, right? I want to hold my creation in my hands. And unfortunately, you have to date to do that. You got to go through that whole middle part before you have a wife and before you're a husband. So, I mean.
Hi, my name is Caroline, and I have been single for over 5 years, and for 2.5 of those years, I have lived in Austin, Texas, and dating here has been really challenging. I'm sure some can relate. And I've done every single dating app. I've reached out to guys in DMs. I've asked guys out in person. I've even gone to singles events, and somehow I'm just not meeting the right people. So with that said, I'm putting myself out there in a very different way via social media. And if this is a complete fail, then it is what it is. I literally have nothing to lose at this point, but I thought that I could reach a whole lot more guys this way, and maybe someone that would be more compatible with me may see my video. So anyways, here we go. So to hit the highlights, Caroline, 27. I live in Austin, but I grew up in Chicago. I got my bachelor's degree at Indiana, and I got my master's degree at Northwestern. My dog is about to bark for me, so 1 second. Go. Okay, sorry about that. I worked as a speech therapist for about 3 years, and then recently I've made a career shift and I'm starting my own business that I'm really, really excited about. I've taught group fitness classes for about 2.5 years, and I'm really involved in health and wellness, and I exercise every single day. I have a wiener dog named Mario who wanted to come on my lap at the most perfect times. This is Mario. He's the love of my life, and whenever someone stops me around town, it is never to talk to me. It is always to talk and ask about Mario, which is fully understandable. And my parents live in Charleston. I'm very, very close with them. And then I thought I would just hit some fun facts. I always have this ongoing list in my notes app that it's things that make me feel a certain type of way good, and then things that make me feel a certain type of way bad. And I just add to it as things come up in life. And so I'm just going to share a couple things. And if you resonate and you're like, oh my God, I totally I vibe with that, then reach out to me. Okay. So list of bad things. A couple of those would be Las Vegas, gerbils. So hamsters, rodents of sorts, cruises, mezcal, which is a hot topic in Austin because mezcal is huge here. And then bringing a dog to a crowded bar. Those are things I just do not vibe with. Things that make me feel some type of way good. Early 2000s hip hop, more 2010s, I guess. College football, clean sheets, anything true crime, documentary, podcast, I'm there. And then early morning workouts, 6 a.m. workouts, love to be done with my exercise before the sun rises. Those are just a couple things about me. Again, I know I have nothing to lose by putting myself out there, maybe just a little bit of embarrassment, but I thought I'd give this a shot because I don't know what else to do. So anyways, reach out to me via TikTok or Instagram, same handle, because
But I think, and I understand and I appreciate Lauren for sharing her perspective. But modern women, it doesn't really matter what you do. Well, I feel safe, this. It doesn't really matter what you do. These modern women are going to test you, regardless of if they need to be doing it or not. They're going to test you, and they're going to fool around and mess up the relationship. I was thinking, there was, that clip of the woman, she said, well, I thought I'd mix it up a little bit. I saw my friends were joking around with their men about divorce, and I decided to do the same thing. And now my husband wants a divorce. And my husband's not talking about me, or he's not talking to me. He's not doing this. I love this man. This is the only man that I've ever loved. What am I going to do? How do I get this man back? How do I stop him from filing divorce? I have no idea, because you decided to play around and test that man. Let it be known that because y'all think y'all can get down the line and do anything, regardless of how stupid it is. Let it be known, modern women always have foolishness up their sleeve.